Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Monday morning, April 10th, 2023. Hope each of you had a wonderful holiday weekend. And we're back at the grindstone today and want to spend a few minutes with you talking about networking. So what we do is we get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories. And today's topic, without a doubt, is I don't know if I should say the simplest, but it's the most reliable way to generate a large number of hot referrals. Now, those are some pretty strong terms that we'll defend in a moment. And we've talked about this in past trainings, but it's come up again. So here we are. We're going to revisit the concept of generating clients via networking. But there's several misnomers or maybe points of clarification that we have to address. So I think we can all imagine in general what networking is, right? It's interfacing with others. But we're talking about formal networking, not informal networking. You may be good at informal networking, and frankly, I'm not. But formal networking is very effective. And I'll describe what that is. It's not going to be a mystery. So formal networking means it's a networking environment where there's rules and there's processes. It's not a free-for-all. So there's more involvement, but the results are outstanding. So we're going to show you how to do formal networking today. And in fact, we'll pay for it because it's not free. When you join formal networking groups, they will charge you. It's not free. If you're looking for free, forget it. However, we will reimburse you for that. Therefore, you get the benefits without the investment. Now, when we talk about formal networking, and this is a big statement, but we'll stand behind it. When we talk about referrals, I should say, we need to look at two things. How many referrals do we expect to receive, and what is the type of referral? Well, we're going to show you how to receive 5 to 10 referrals every week. But these are not just leads. These are, as is highlighted, hot referrals. So imagine you're at a meeting once a week, Wednesday afternoons or what have you, whenever the time is. We'll talk about how to pick the time of the day and the day of the week that you want to attend a meeting, a networking meeting. We'll get to that in a moment. But just imagine you're in a room and the room has, let's say, 10 to 20 other people in it. And there's only one professional from each category. So there's one CPA, there's one business banker, there's one business attorney, there's one business coach. And so you represent your category. So there's a formal networking approach that we promote and endorse and are willing to cover your cost for is a formal networking group, meets on a regular basis, and you get referrals from those other professionals. So just imagine if that banker or that accountant or that business attorney referred someone to you. It's not just a lead. It's not just a name. It is a warm introduction. Your chances of closing them is remarkably high. This is far superior to running some ads and getting some cold leads and hoping to convince them that what you do is real or legitimate. All right, so as we typically do, we're going to go through a 3-step process. We're going to start with making sure that you and I are clear on what we do. Number 2, we're going to talk about our target market. And then third, we're going to go through the specific instructions on how to generate clients through networking, how to generate 5 to 10 hot, not just referrals, hot referrals every week. And you don't have to pay these individuals to refer to you. But let's build our foundation first, as we like to do. So step 1, it's very important that you and I are on the same page excuse me, of understanding what we do. You and I are technical advisors. We help individuals and small business owners do what? We help them improve their credibility to qualify for financing. You and I know we're going to call bullshit on the fact that people just want money. I just want money. I just need money. Well, it's not about wanting money or needing money. It's about qualifying. So rather you're wanting to qualify for a business loan, auto financing, mortgages, or what have you, we need to qualify. What does that mean? Well, there's the 3 C's that you and I learned in school: credit, collateral, and capacity. Through our credit and funding program, we can help anyone access a minimum of $100,000, not because of some pie in the sky pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but we're peeling the layers back and helping people become credible enough for funding based upon the 3 C's. Excuse me. So we know that the process is proven, legal, and effective. The only time that you're going to receive pushback would be from one of 2 types of people: those that are financially illiterate. And I don't say that as an insult, but they just don't know. They don't understand how finance works, how lending works. So they may, in fact, have wrong perceptions or unrealistic perceptions. The other group are people that are just malicious. And so you'll run into them. But the key is to educate, to improve financial literacy, help people understand the 3 C's are the cornerstone of getting funding. And that's what you and I do through the credit and funding program. We can help anyone become credible enough by improving their 3 C's to get at least $100,000. So I think we're all clear on what it is that you and I do as technical advisors. So now let's make sure that we're clear on understanding our target audience. Now, we can work with anyone, so this is not discriminatory, but we prefer to work with imperfect people. We prefer to work with individuals who have challenges with their 3 C's, because that's where our value add comes in. So people that have money problems, love them, get them enrolled in the credit and funding. People with bad credit, love them, get them enrolled. People that don't have collateral. So this is talking about the 3 C's. People that don't have the 3 C's are typically locked out of funding. They don't have access to capital. But what you and I do is credibly and legitimately improve their 3 C's. Thus, logic would say we're looking for people that have problems with their 3 C's. It's like if you and I opened a brake shop, would we be targeting people with new cars and new brakes? Hell no, we wouldn't. They don't need us. But the people that have older cars that have issues with their brakes, that's who our target audience is. So it makes perfect sense. It's a contrarian approach whereby we're focused on individuals who don't qualify for funding. You say that and it sounds outlandish. Well, wait, why wouldn't we focus on the people that do qualify for funding? That's fine. If people come to us and they already have the 3 C's, the credibility, great, we'll move forward even faster. But our target audience are those that are imperfect because they have issues with one or more of their 3 C's. So do we have any questions on the foundational elements here? What it is that you and I do, who we're looking to help. Because if we're not clear here, step 3, talking about generating clients via networking, freaking makes no difference. We need to know what it is that you and I do and who we help. Everybody good there? Any questions, comments? All right, so let's get to our lead topic for the day, which is how we can go out and generate clients via networking. Several of you have done this. I've done this. I absolutely know that it works. And I'm going to show you here. So let's scroll down. Now, there are different formal networking groups. I have no financial affiliation with BNI, but I've been a member of BNI called Business Networking International and know that it works. But it's a polarizing group because some people love them and some people hate them. People that hate them say, I don't want this structure. I don't want to have to do certain things. I don't want to have to show up for a meeting every week. Then the response would be, well, what better option do you have to go out and make $100,000 a month? Because that's our goal. If you're a white label partner, without a doubt, our goal is that you'll make $100,000 a month through our relationship. Take Dan, he's on the phone now. He's just getting back to work after a trip on the West Coast to see family for the Easter holiday. Dan, in his first full month, this month in April, Dan will make $100,000 through this relationship. Any of you can do that if you would like. If you don't have leads, let's talk about how joining BNI can fill your funnel. So Business Networking International, you can go to their website if you want, bni.com. They're the world's leading business referral organization. Again, I have no affiliation with them. I don't get paid anything if you join. I'm not trying to recruit you. So my intent is merely to give you information to show you how to generate significant lead flow, hot lead flow, if you choose to. So you can always look at the numbers, right? In 2022, last year, BNI members generated 20.4 billion with a B in revenue through 13 million referrals. Let me paint a quick picture of how this works, and we'll get back to the agenda. So you stroll into the BNI meeting. BNI chapters meet once a week. Different chapters have different meeting times. Some meet for breakfast, some for lunch. I don't know that any meet for dinner, but they meet different days of the week, different times of the day. You'll choose a chapter that meets your availability. And you sit down in this room, usually over a meal, often over lunch, and you're surrounded by people that want to refer to you. These are our friends and colleagues made quickly, because it's called a giver's gain mentality. Each of them are there to learn about what you're looking for in terms of finding people that they can refer to you. I mean, it's a beautiful model, but it's structured. And so if you don't like structure and you have a better way to go make 100,000 a month, let's do your way. Next, say tomorrow, you teach us your model of how you're making 100,000 a month, and we'll teach it to everyone, because different people have different approaches. This will absolutely work. So here are the action steps. You're going to find a local BNI chapter. They have different chapters across the country. Theoretically, you could form your own, but that's even more work. But you go to bni.com, which we already addressed. Find a chapter. If you just go to bni.com, you'll see a button that comes up, find a chapter. So chapters are the definition of these local groups where they're exclusive, meaning there's only one BNI member per chapter per category. So there's only one accountant. There's only one business banker. There's only one of you. You will not have competition in that room. No competition. Beautiful. So you're going to go to the website. You're going to find the chapter that you want to visit. When I say visit, you can go visit different chapters to figure out which one that you want to join, because different ones have different members and meet different times and have different cultures. So you can visit, and you probably should visit 2 or 3 to say, okay, this is the one that feels the most comfortable to me. Each time you go visit a chapter, you'll start receiving referrals. Even though you've not joined BNI, you should walk out of that room with 1 or more referrals, even as a visitor, right? So anyone that's a white label partner that's not generating adult volume, it's because you're not generating leads properly, or you're not closing leads properly. Well, we've offered to close your leads now. We rolled that out last week. That was on April 4th with that training. So there's no more excuses about not being able to close, because we'll close over 90% of your leads for you. Now it's just an issue is if you don't have good leads. And we're not talking about shitty Craigslist leads. We're not talking about these crazy bought leads. We're talking about hot leads from credible people that you're sitting across the table with once a week. So review the action steps, find a chapter, pick a chapter, and on the website, it'll allow you to register to visit, and then go to the chapter meeting. Now, there's some things you need to know about going to the meeting. You need to have your white label partnership set up first. What do we mean by that? So you're going into that meeting representing you and your business. You are the CEO of your business. I'm on to number 2 now. And so you need to have a business card. You need to bring business cards, because everyone in that freaking room around that table wants your card so they can refer to you. So you don't go in there looking downtrodden. You don't go in there not being able to explain what it is you do. But we've talked about what we do. We talk about it every day. And they're going to ask you, Alfred, Bernard, Carlos, Charles, Dan, Jeanette, Pauline, Pierre, Terrence, and others. They're going to ask you, what are you looking for this week? They'll look to you, Paulie, and say, what can we do to help you, Paulie? And what you're going to say is, I'm looking for some imperfect people. I'm looking for people that have money problems, people with credit problems, people without collateral that need funding, $100,000 or more to start or grow a business. And our program is going to improve their 3 C's, their credit, their collateral capacity, so they qualify for at least $100,000, guaranteed. That's what you're going to say. So you got to go in there looking good and being competent. Because at some point, forgive me for saying this, but at some point, if you're not effective in generating leads or closing leads, it's probably not the program's fault. It's frankly probably not my fault. You may not be good at what you're doing. And so if you're not good at getting in front of people and generating leads, you wouldn't want to do this. But many of you are very good, very effective communicators. This is an excellent outlet. And as I mentioned before, you can visit different chapters. Now, once you join a chapter, they only want you to join and be a member of one chapter, but there's some mechanisms where you can be a guest at other chapters. I don't want to go too deep into the weeds, but you're going to join a chapter and you're going to be part of that group, and they're going to be thinking about you throughout the week, and they're going to be referring people to you. And it's an explicit referral. They're going to hand you a referral form. So imagine this, Dan, you're in lunch on Wednesday and you have 5 people come up to you, Dan, each handing you this. It's a BNI slip that says, hey, Dan, here's Jeanette Shepard's name and phone number. She needs cash. She's got shitty credit. Please give her a call. Here's Pierre Campbell's information. Here's his name, his email. He's expecting your call, Dan. Please give him a call. He needs funding to get started. These are warm referrals that are so valuable. All right. Now, BNI is not free. It's not free. It's not free, but we'll pay for it for you. So, as stated here, if you go visit a chapter, you decide to join, they're going to charge you an initiation fee to join and a monthly fee. Is it worth it? Absolutely. But it's especially worth it because we'll pay for it for you. So BNI will charge you. We will reimburse. Now, this is for white label partners. This doesn't work for affiliates, right? Because as a white label partner, you got to go in representing your business. They don't want a rep from some business, some other part of the country. They want the leader of the local business to be sitting at that table. So if you're not a white label partner, it's a great time to become one. Email us, let us know. There's obviously no cost up front to enroll as a white label partner. Instead of making around $3,000 as an affiliate, your gross income is about 4 times that, about 12,000. And frankly, and some of you know this, you make money whether your clients pay you or not. Let's take Bernard. Bernard's had he's a white label partner. He's had some clients that signed up and defaulted. Does that mean, oh man, he doesn't make money? Hell no. He's still going to liquidate those debts. He's going to collect off non-performing deals just like he does performing. So you're going to make your 12.5 off of every client that enrolls. And if you're a white label partner, we're going to work with you to enroll at least 8 a month. That's $100,000 a month. And that is only possible if you have lead flow. BNI is a great way, not the only way, but a great way to get that lead flow. And of course, as a white label partner, you're running your own business. You set your own pricing and client terms. So we'll hit the bottom line, then we'll open it up for questions and comments. So in the credit and funding program, we assist participants in improving their 3 C's to create a loan package and creating a loan package so they qualify for a minimum of $100,000 in funding. You can earn an adult income by helping other people get what they want. And then you have our contact information. But our point today is to talk about, introduce, or frankly encourage you to at least go to one BNI meeting and feel it out. And if you like it, join, we'll reimburse you. So who has questions about networking and BNI? All right, so Timothy's asking a question, and it's a good point. So there's informal networking. Informal networking would be an example. You go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting and every member of the chamber is there. And so now you have multiple realtors, multiple bankers, multiple accountants. And you might say, well, that sounds good. The more bankers, the more accountants, the more people to refer to you. But it's not the same. It's not a cohesive group. When you have exclusivity per category, in BNI, they call it a member chair. So there's one business banker that has that chair, quote unquote, that role, that seat, that title, that duty. And so, yes, there's informal networking that's looser, but I do not believe that it's going to be able to match the impact of a formal networking group like BNI. So let's do a quick question. How many of you have ever been to a BNI meeting before? So all of you that are online here, if you'll take a moment, go to the Q&A and let me know, have you ever attended a BNI meeting? I'm going to give you a moment to respond. I'm just curious if you have or not. And it doesn't necessarily mean in this role. Maybe it was in a prior role, prior job, prior career. BNI is big. Again, it's a bit polarizing because it's a formal approach. It's a structured approach to networking. And if you're willing to plug into that structure, it works very, very well. And what you and I do, because of who we are and who we seek to help, is a perfect fit. So we're getting about a 50-50 mix on my informal poll of those of you that have done this or have not. But again, and it's the point that Alfred's bringing up, if you're going to go visit a local chapter, you need to look good. In other words, you need to be set up with your white label partnership. You need to have at least your business card in hand, and you're going to need multiple cards because everyone around that freaking table is going to want your card to refer to you. So you don't go in without cards. You need to go in and you can figure out what the dress code is. It's probably business casual, maybe formal, but you can get a feel for that based upon when you're choosing the chapter. You can find the one that's best to you. So Jeanette brings up a good point. She says she was a member of BNI, but it was not cost effective. So that's a good point. So Jeanette, of course, we're going to pay your cost to be a BNI member, so you won't have any investment. But Jeanette, what chair, what role were you in when you were a BNI member? Were you a realtor? Were you a dentist? What role, what chair did you have? I'm curious, because one of the things that will prevent BNI from being effective is if you're not fully engaged. And fully engaged means that you go to those meetings every week, and if you don't go to a meeting, you need a substitute. So there's some rules to it. It's structured, and that's where some people don't like it. Okay, so Jeanette was a life insurance agent, and yeah, that's things like life insurance can be more difficult because there's lots and lots and lots of options for life insurance professionals. And so I can see how that would be more difficult. But there won't be anyone else probably that they even know that do what you and I do as technical advisors, helping people get guaranteed $100,000 of funding. All right, does anyone else have questions, comments, concerns on today's topic? It's how to generate clients via networking. We're talking about using formal networking to generate 5 to 10 hot referrals every week with no cost. And as a white label partner, if you're not a good closer, we'll help you close them. Let's say that let's be conservative and we generate just 2 deals a week out of doing this. Well, we'll cover your BNI costs. We've already covered that. So depending upon what you're charging the clients for the setup fee and the performance fee, you're probably making around $12,500 per client. So if we're doing 2 of those a week, that was the assumption. We're saying, oh, no, we don't convert all these, or it's not working as well for me. I'm only getting 2 a week. Then we're at $25,000 a week, 4 weeks in a month, $100,000 a month. I mean, what's the rest of you doing to generate that type of cash flow? If it's not formal networking, what are you doing that's working? Now, there's a handful of you that have an internal database, relationships already, MCA turned down, and so forth. I understand that's even better, right? Because you can kind of step out of it. You have your own leads list internally. And if you're in that position, can't beat that. But for the rest of us, where we need leads, I just don't think that you'll find a better approach. Any questions, comments, concerns on today's topic? Of course, you can always reach out to us. If you're a white label partner, remember, we've committed to weekly calls. White label partners, we schedule weekly calls. We review every client. We make sure they're on track. We make sure they're happy. We don't really want to do that on the fly. Periodically, I'll have white label partners that'll just text or call, and they want to review clients on the fly. That's not good because we're not prepared. So you should have the link. If you don't have the link, let us know. It's a Calendly link specifically for white label partners. We should be scheduling weekly calls to review client status. Now, if you need support, have questions more immediate, of course, here's email, here's phone and text. Anything else that we can do to help you today? But I do encourage you, give this a try. It's so simple, right? BNI.com, find a chapter, pick a chapter, and it'll allow you to register to visit for free right from the BNI website, and go to one meeting. Just feel it out. See how it feels. Let's commit between now and next Monday for each of us to go to at least one BNI meeting, and then you can report back next Monday what you thought of it. Sound good? All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning.